Guys, Deludi, Guna, YouTubes, and Golo Kante. Now, I know we're only in December, but we need to be thinking about what we're going to do in the summer. Last summer, we should have had a clear out. This summer, we should have had a clear out. Now, between clear outs, between deciding contracts, between cutting off deadwood, there's a lot to be done. I'm not going to get into that. What I am going to get into is this. Now, if I had my way, I can see several areas for improvement. We could get a left back to challenge Kolar. I know Monreal's here, but we've got young players that could come through and earmarked, and there's a decision on that. But if something happens to Kolar, who's playing left back apart from Monreal? So Monreal's getting towards the end of his career. So there's a case for a left back, case of a right back because Bellerin ain't got no competition. These are areas we can address. Case for a keeper because the same reason Czech is declining and things like that. We need a keeper. But there are three areas that I don't believe we're going to deal with in the summer when I consider the following areas. We know the spine isn't there. We need a centre-half. We need a centre-half. We need a centre-mid. In fact, there's two sorts of centre-mids. I've told you guys. There's a need to replace Santi or there's a need to get the industrial, the dynamic, winning the ball back and things like that. One or the other or both. I don't think we get both. So we'll take one or the other realistically, Arsenal fans. So there's that. Then we're going to need to replace Alexis. Now, whether we sign another striker or another winger, I'm going to say winger because I believe we need a winger. Like I'm tired of seeing wingers that don't want to get chalk on their boots. So that's three positions, right? I've said goalie, centre mid, and a winger. The core, or we can say that's the core. The three signings that I would be happy with if we hit September the 1st or whenever the deadline day is in the summer, and they're the only ones we brought in. Like I said, left back, right back, keeper, we need that. And if we can go get that, fine, and Arsenal probably won't do any of this. But if we look at it now, to really fix this matter, you can go about it two ways. I've told you guys before, it's a thing where either scouts do their job, you either find these players that are good enough, that are just not well publicised or need a chance or have scope to develop. If you're going to do that, fine, we don't need to spend a lot of money necessarily, and I'll be happy with that if scouts are competent enough to do their job. But if we wanted to fix it my way or the way most fans know or whatever, I'd say anything from 100 to 150 million. That's me being generous. We spent 90 odd last year, I believe. No, we spent 52 last year or so. We spent 90 odd the year before. Do I see us spending 150? No. Do I see us doing what City done in just going and getting what they needed, the left back, the right back, the centre mids, whatever in it? Do I see us doing that? No. But we can really just fix this. Now I don't know how much money we actually have because 1 minute we're hearing we got 100 plus, 1 minute we have nothing. But how are we going to do this? And why I say 100 million? Because the three players. Let me just roll off players off the top of my head. Lucas Torreira of Sampdoria. I believe that's a Santi replacement right there. He's gonna cost. I'm being generous now to give estimates anything from 20 to 40 million, probably even more than 40. But let's just say 40 to make the point. I'm being humble again without even talking about Fekir, who I want. Let's just be humble. Let's say Mahrez now, ideally 25 to 35, but it's gonna be 40 or so, right? So that's 80 million already down the pot. 90 million already down the pot. My maths isn't that good. And then you've got Koulibaly, who I believe we should be going for a centre half like that. Like I've got many other centre halves, but he's the one I've got as an example. So that's anything from 120 to 150. We could actually go and do this. Again, it could be a bit more, it could be a bit less. It's down to how you negotiate. Me, I'm a penny pincher, so I'm gonna try and negotiate and get deals. But once the time comes where you have to put the money on the table, that's different. And yeah, and it's been complicated even more now because we could have made 60 million off Alexis, which is why I'm saying a man needs to go. That 40 million for Oxlade is just magically going to go into thin air. There's question marks over several players. Is Theo going to leave? That's 20 to 25 million. Is Giroud going to leave? That's 20 million or so. Is Coquelin going to leave, for example? Is El Nene going to leave? Is Santi and Mertesacker and these players and Perez and Debuchy, all of these players, for whether their careers are ending or they're not part of the plans to free up wages and possibly gain extra revenue in the transfer market. If that happens, then that's cool. And it could be done. And it is very tricky, like I've said. It is very tricky. If funds can be raised through that, cool, and wages, cool. It would help our net spend. Not that I care about that stuff. Like I said, I can't see us spending 150 million, but to really fix the problems, this is it. Like the free signings, this me being humble and wishful thinking. These are free signings, and that's gonna minimally cost 150 million. And do I see us doing that? No. That's why we're gonna be in this position. Not even that. If we were to look at Fekir, that's 50 minimum. 50 again. 50 minimum. Aouar, I believe. I believe he could play at Arsenal. However much, I couldn't even put a fee on that. Ndombele, 20 odd million minimum. Guedes, who I've watched from his Benfica days, is currently on loan to Valencia. I don't know how much that's gonna cost. Zachariah of Gladbach, which we've been watching, it's only been 1 year, and I don't know if he'll move. He could be a pretty expensive buy. So yeah, man. I don't see how we're gonna do this. Like, I'm really trying to think of how we do this. If Koulibaly costs 50, Torreira costs 40, that's what? That's 90. Then we've got Thingy. Then we've got Mahrez. This can be done. This can be actually done for under like 100. That's why I said 100 to 150. This could be done. I'd like us to spend a bit more so we could pattern off the left back and the right back. If scouts are gonna do their job like how they found Kola for free, then cool, fair enough. But if we're gonna do this my way, this is what I'll be doing. Koulibaly, I'm so sure 50 million, and I don't even want to spend 50 million on him. I'd be haggling over 35 to 40. I've told you guys I like a deal, but 50 is my absolute limit. That's going to be a pretty penny, and I can't see us doing that despite the fact we've scouted my man for how long. Things like that. Obviously, if you want to go on for Manolas or these other players, that's different. But yeah, man. Like, I'm still watching the likes of Fekir, Koulibaly, Mahrez, Zakaria, Gudez, Ndombele, Torreira. These are random names or wow, random names I'm calling off. But these are guys I'm looking at and hoping my club, Lamar, obviously, players I hope my club moves for. It's not gonna happen, but I'm a football fan, so obviously I'm gonna do this. But yeah, man, 150 million could really pattern off everything. A little less or a little bit more around that region. I'd love us to spend 200 because you can go after some creme de la creme players, and if you're going to spend 200, you can go out and get some real big players. But do I see us doing that? No. And then there'll be question marks. If we went to go and spend that, we need to be winning stuff. And then also Arsenal have said they're punching above their weight previously, have said they like this economic model. We've been trying for how many years to offload. You know, Arsenal said last year we need to offload before we buy. I do believe our slim hopes of getting top 4 is what rides upon several contracts and several movements in the transfer market. But yeah, man, I don't know the purpose of this vid. I was just sat here thinking about it. So yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the final point, like I said in regards to scouts do their job. If Spen and Raul, the two additions, if they're going to go and find these players with potential, great, it's fine. But yeah, man. Guys, Delete Laguna, I'm out. Thank you.